Hello friends, good morning to all. In last lecture, we have seen the explanation for the progress of a spherical and plane wavefront and the reflection of light at the plane surface. In this lecture, we are going to discuss the new point in this chapter, which is refraction of light at the plane boundary between the two media and the dependence of wavelength and the refractive index of the medium. Let us see the diagram for the refraction of light at the plane surface. In figure, Mn is the plane refracting surface which separates the two media, that is medium 1 and medium 2. Medium 1 is the rarer medium and medium 2 is the denser medium. Here A dash A and B dash C is the incident rays. AE and CS are the refracted rays. Here AB is the plane incident wavefront and EC or CE is the plane refracted wavefront. Angle A dash AP is the angle of incidence and angle EAP dash is the angle of refraction R. The explanation for the diagram is the plane incident wavefront AB is bounded by the two incident rays, that is A dash A and B dash C. The incident rays reaches at point A. Point A becomes secondary source and emit the secondary waves in the denser medium. Here V1 is the velocity of light in a rarer medium and V2 is the velocity of light in denser medium. Suppose time required to cover the distance from B to C is T. So the distance BC is equal to V1 into T. During the same time, the rays started from A will cover some distance in the denser medium. Draw the hemisphere taking A as the center and radius equal to V2 into T. Draw the tangent to the hemisphere, that is CE is the tangent to the hemisphere. Here point C and E are in a same phase. Here AE is equal to V2 into T, that is the radius of the hemisphere. AE is equal to V2 into T, which is the radius of a hemisphere. Here we have to prove the laws of refraction. To prove the laws of refraction, in figure A dash AP is the angle of incidence, and due to this PAB becomes 90 minus angle I. Here A dash A and AB are perpendicular to each other, means the total angle is 90 degree, and as A dash AP is equal to angle of incidence, therefore PAB is equal to 90 minus I. But here angle PAB plus angle BAC is equal to 90 degree because PA is perpendicular to AC. So this angle is also 90 degree. Therefore angle BAC. Therefore the angle BAC is equal to 90 minus angle PAB. So angle BAC is equal to 90 minus the value of angle PAB is the 90 minus I. So this 90 gets cancelled and we get the value of angle BAC is equal to angle of incidence I. Angle BAC is equal to angle of incidence I. Then we have to obtain the value of angle of refraction also. So from figure EAP dash is equal to the angle of refraction r. Therefore, angle EAC is equal to 90 minus r, because P dash A is normal to AC. So, the angle EAC is equal to 90 minus r. But from figure, EAC plus ECA is equal to 90 degree, because here AE perpendicular to EC. AE is the perpendicular to EC, means this angle becomes equal to 90 degree, and the total of the three angles of the triangle is equal to 180 degree. So angle EAC plus ECA is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, angle ECA, we have to calculate angle ECA is equal to 90 minus EAC. So, the value of angle EAC is equal to 90 minus R. This 90 gets cancelled. We get the value of angle ECA. The value of angle ECA is equal to R. Means we have obtained the value of angle I and the value of angle R. From figure, in a triangle ABC and triangle AEC, triangle ABC and triangle AEC. In this triangle, sin I equal to BC divided by AC, that is V1T divided by AC, and sin R equal to, this is angle R, and sin R equal to AE divided by AC, which is equal to V2T divided by AC. Taking the ratio of these two equations, we get sin I divided by sin R is equal to V1T divided by AC whole divided by V2T upon AC. Here AC gets cancelled and we get sin I upon sin R is equal to V1T upon V2T. Also TT gets cancelled, we get V1 upon V2 is equal to N2 divided by N1. Therefore, sin I divided by sin R is equal to N2 upon N1, which is equal to N to 1, that is the refractive index of the second medium with respect to first. This is called the Snell's law. Snell's law states that the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is always constant. This constant is called the refractive index of the second medium with respect to first. And using this equation, we can write N1 into sin I is equal to N2 into sin R. From our equation, we can write sin I upon sin R is equal to V1 upon V2, which is equal to N2 divided by N1. If V1 greater than V2, N2 greater than N1, then angle I is greater than angle R, means angle of incidence greater than the angle of refraction. Here we have drawn the two diagrams, that is when rays travels from rarer medium to denser medium, what happens? See the diagram. When rays travels from optically dense rarer medium to optically denser medium, then the refracted ray bends towards the normal, as angle of I, that is angle of incidence, is greater than the angle of refraction, then the refracted ray bends towards the normal. And in second diagram, the incident ray is in a denser medium and it travels to the rarer medium. When the rays started from denser medium and refracts to the rarer medium. Experimentally, it is observed that the angle of refraction R is greater than the angle of incidence I. That is, angle of incidence less than the angle of refraction R. Then the refracted ray moves away from the normal. That is, I have written this: if angle I is greater than R, then refracted ray bends toward the normal while going from optically rarer medium to the optically denser medium. And for second diagram, if the angle I, that is angle of incidence, less than the angle of refraction, then the refracted ray bends away from the normal while going from the optically denser medium to the optically rarer medium. Then the laws of refraction are. Here we have proved the Snell's law, that is a ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is always constant, and this constant is called the refractive index of the second medium with respect to first, which is Snell's law. Then the second law is incident ray and refracted ray lies on opposite sides of the normal. Incident ray and refracted ray. This is incident ray, this is the refracted, which lies on opposite sides of the normal. And third law is incident ray, refracted ray and normal lies in the same plane. Dependence of wavelength on the refractive index of the medium. Let us see the diagram for the dependence of wavelength on refractive index of the medium. Here PQ is the refracting surface. Here we have drawn the two diagrams. This diagram for the normal incidence and this diagram is for the oblique incidence. Both diagrams are same, but this is a normal incidence and this is the oblique incidence. Here in figure, PQ is the plane refracting surface. In both diagrams, PQ, here PQ, here also PQ. In both diagrams, PQ is the plane refracting surface. V1 is the velocity of light in the rarer medium and V2 is the velocity of light in the denser medium. Here medium 1 is rarer medium, medium 2 is the denser medium. Here AB, CD and EF are the plane incident wavefront, and A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, E dash, F dash are the plane refracted wavefront. In both diagrams, the names also same. Let N1 is the refractive index in medium 1 and N2 is the refractive index in second medium, that is in denser medium. Lambda 1, nu 1 are the wavelength and frequency in medium 1 and also the lambda 2, nu 2 is the wavelength and frequency in the second medium. Consider monochromatic light incident on the refracting surface. PQ is the boundary between the two surfaces. We know that we have seen this relation in 11th standard, that is sin I divided by sin R is equal to V1 upon V2 is equal to lambda 1 upon lambda 2 is equal to N2 divided by N1, which is equal to N21. If we calculate the refractive index in terms of angle, then we use the relation sin I upon sin R is equal to N21. If we calculate the refractive index in terms of velocity, we use the relation refractive index is equal to V1 upon V2. If we calculate the refractive index in terms of wavelength, then we can write refractive index is equal to lambda 1 divided by lambda 2. And if we calculate the refractive index in terms of refractive indices, then we can write the refractive index, that is n21 is equal to n2 divided by n1. We have proved in Huygens wave theory of light, that is velocity of light in a rarer medium is greater than the velocity of light in denser medium, that is v1 greater than v2, because v1 is the velocity of light in a rarer medium and v2 is the velocity of light in denser medium. Lambda 1, therefore, as from this equation, v1 upon v2 is equal to lambda 1 upon lambda 2. As v1 greater than v2, therefore lambda 1 greater than lambda 2. From this relation, from this equation, as v1 upon v2 is equal to lambda 1 upon lambda 2, this equation shows velocity directly proportional to the wavelength. Taking cross multiplication, v1 into lambda 2 is equal to v2 into lambda 1. Therefore, lambda 2, that is wavelength in denser medium, lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1 into v2 divided by v1. Suppose this equation number 2. Therefore, lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1 into n1 divided by n2, as v1 upon v2 is equal to n2 upon n1. So, v2 upon v1 is equal to n1 divided by n2, means we have replaced this term, replaced the velocity by refractive index, means lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1 into n1 divided by n2. Suppose this equation is 3. If medium 1 is vacuum, then n1 is equal to 1, lambda 1 is equal to lambda 0 and v1 equal to c, and n2 is equal to small n, lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1. Then the equation 2 becomes, the equation 2 is lambda 2 is equal to lambda 1 into v2 divided by v1. Putting this value in this equation, we get lambda is equal to lambda 0 into v2 upon c. Therefore, lambda is equal to lambda 0 divided by c upon v2, and the value of c upon v2 means n2, which is equal to lambda 0 divided by n, because n2 is equal to n. Here we have put the value of n2 is equal to n. Therefore, in this equation n2 is equal to n. Therefore, we get lambda is equal to lambda 0 divided by small n. Here small n is the ratio of velocity of light in rarer medium divided by velocity of light in given medium, that is a refractive index of the vacuum. If v is equal to nu lambda, we get nu is equal to v upon lambda, and due to this the value of nu1 is equal to v1 upon lambda 1 and the value of nu2 is equal to v2 upon lambda 2. Taking the ratio of these two equations, we get nu1 upon nu2 is equal to v1 upon lambda 1 whole divided by v2 upon lambda 2, which is equal to 1. This means that nu1 is equal to nu2. That is, the frequency remains same, does not changes, remains unchanged when rays travels from one medium into the other medium. Thank you.